The need for an alternative platform and a third force to the existing political options in the country is becoming increasingly of greater importance. And leaders of conscience believe the nation is not well run and needs a quick reformation. Nigerians are being urged to demand better quality leaders as more presidential hopefuls express their intention to run for the highest office in the land. The charge was given by political economist Professor Patutomi at a Big Tent conversation, part of the Rescue Nigeria project, which was held at the midpoint of Nigeria on the hills of Katampe in Abuja, 600 meters above the sea level. While insecurity, economic issues, governance, infrastructure, and power supply were identified as the major problems hindering the growth and development of the country, Professor Tomi is one of those who have called for an elite conversation or consensus and mental overhaul where Nigerians prioritize suitability over eligibility. Let's get talking about this. It's perhaps one thing that Nigerians need to come together to think about how we can take the nation forward, no matter who you are, wherever you may be even out of the country. But if you're a Nigerian, you have a part to play in all of this. Tonight, I have one of the conveners or co-conveners of the Big Tent and the Rescue Nigeria project, Pastor Ighodalo. Thank you so much, Pastor Ighodalo. It's good to see you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
What is this idea of Big Tent? What is it about?
Well, we're thinking that at this stage and at this age of democracy and the age of Nigeria, Nigerians should be given options and should be made to think and be made to realize that things are possible. So the idea of the Big Tent is to say, okay, there are two dominant political parties, the PDP, the APC. It's possible for other people of good minds and good thought to gather together and offer themselves to Nigerians and give Nigerians a further option to decide on who they want to govern their country. And the Big Tent is saying that there must be strict criteria for people who are going to lead Nigeria. There must be people of vision, people of competence, people of honesty, people of passion, people who have compassion for the people, people who are offering themselves to serve, and definitely it's not a do or die affair. And Nigerians can then decide whether they wish to go after just anyone who offers them money, or they wish to try some people who they think will do their best to turn this country around. Nigeria is a great country. Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria is a country of intense resource. What Nigeria has not really had sufficient of is the right kind of compassionate, visionary, and servant leadership that it needs.
So you went to what is regarded as the midpoint of Nigeria, the center point of the nation, the heart of the nation. What brought about that idea, and what is the significance?
It's very, very significant. You know, in the Bible, when there was a problem in Jericho, and the people didn't know what to do, they went to Elisha the prophet, and Elisha said, bring me a new cruse, bring me some salt, and bring me a new cruse. And he went to the center of the problem, the heart of the river within that environment, okay, and he put in the salt, and he spoke a word and says, there's salt and this healing is for the healing of the land. So Nigeria has been pulled together into a center. We need to go to that center, speak to that center, and say this land will be healed and this land will grow and develop, and speak to the four corners of Nigeria and ask that the Almighty come forward and do what he needs to do. You know, so when you do have a problem, you have to go to the center of the problem, the source of the problem, the foundation of the problem, and do something that the heavens will hear and the earth will respond to. And that was part of the reason to convene this meeting at this place, which is considered to be the center and the heart of Nigeria. It means that the people are serious, the people mean business, and the people are sacrificial, and they want to really contribute to Nigeria.
Did you speak to the center of Nigeria today? And what did you say?
I spoke to the center of Nigeria, and I said, Nigeria will yield. Nigeria will bring forth good. Nigeria will be blessed. Nigeria is blessed, and Nigeria will be great again. I do believe that Nigeria was great in the days before the colonialists came, and part of our problem is the colonial intervention that put together a structure that they knew would not work. So I said that greatness that made Nigeria a safe haven, in Nigeria a congenial place, that greatness that God prepared for this country, even from the foundations of the earth, must bring forth again. And we're speaking to all well-meaning Nigerians. There's more than enough in Nigeria for everyone. We can all come together, we can all unite, we can all work together towards baking a bigger pie, towards production. We must stop this prodigal mentality of dividing and sharing. We must come together, work together, break a bigger pie that everyone can be part of. And that's what we're speaking into the life of Nigeria.
All right. We'll go into details because in reality, what you're saying is you want to determine who becomes Nigeria's leader in 2023. And if that is the case, if I'm right, if I'm speaking your mind, then there is a process to it. I mean, according to the guidelines and the laws of the land. But before we get into that, what have you, leaders of conscience, identified as a major, the source of our problem in this country?
Well, as I said, the foundational source of our problem is the foundation that the colonial masters laid before they left. But having said that, 60 years after, we shouldn't be going back there. Okay, they said.
And what exactly are those? What did they do exactly that has become that's been so notorious that has stayed with us even over 60 years?
The typical one was divide and rule. You know, when people are not united and cannot think together and cannot come have a common ethos and a common direction, and they are suspicious of one another, and they've been told doctrinally or brainwashed that this man doesn't like you, this man doesn't want you, this man is against you, this man is this. If you don't hold on to power here, you won't succeed here. And if they come here, block them there. Different conversations on the different parts of Nigeria. So the spirit of suspicion, instead of brotherhood and cooperation, which should have been the basis on which we should have gone forward. So what I'm saying to Nigerians now, let us unite and come together and face a common enemy. The common enemy is hunger. The common enemy is poverty. The common enemy is lack of education. The common enemy is lack of exposure. The common enemy is lack of development. The common enemy is lack of food sustainability. Why are we fighting one another, trying to divide what we think we have, when we can come together and build many more all over the place? So your father left you 50 hectares and a house on that hectare, and there are 20 brothers or 3 brothers, and the brothers are fighting themselves over the rooms in the house, and they forget that there's a whole 50 hectares that together, if they put in their pocket monies, they can develop the entire 50 hectares, and each brother can have a huge house on the different hectares of land. This is what we're trying to tell Nigerians. Let's come together, work together from wherever you are, and face a common direction. What is the nation of Nigeria? What is the Nigerian dream? What are the possibilities for the Nigeria in Zamfara and the Nigeria in Sokoto, the Nigeria in Katsina, the Nigeria in Bayelsa, the Nigeria in Benin, the Nigeria in Delta, the Nigeria in Abeokuta, in Ijebu, in Ibadan? What can they both work towards and aspire to? I went to a school called King's College. It was a pet puree of Nigerians. We didn't know where anybody came from. We all worked hard, we played cricket together, played soccer together, we cheered our lions together, and everybody did whatever they could, and we built a great school. We didn't care where you came from. What was important was what was in your mind and the capabilities and what you could do. And this is what we're asking Nigerians. What can you do to bake a bigger pie? Let's stop fighting one another. Let's work together to bake a bigger pie.
Great. So how do we then go about it? Have you formed a political party just yet? Is the Big Tent a political party? Is it dovetailing into a political party? Or how are you going about this agenda? You seem to have some very good intentions for this country, but how are you going about it?
The first is to think. The next is to see. and the third is to pull together. So we're trying to work with as many political parties as possible, okay, that will want to come together into some kind of coalition. That's why it's called a big tent. Okay, let's pull our resources together. Let's take the best of what we have, and everybody's invited. Even the so-called dominant parties, if they're interested and they have the best of their own, let's come together. It's like almost a national movement. We're trying to say, let's bring the best of everyone, come together and walk in a certain direction. So for as many as are interested and are as willing and ready to play as a team, as a collegiate, as working together, as against individual. No one individual can win an election in Nigeria. It's not possible. And people need to understand that. People need to know that they need to come together and work together and see how we can make progress together and bring the best of the lot, and not just anyone who has money or who just feels that he should be. No, we can't continue like that. You know, whenever you want to choose a managing director for an organization, there is a process, there is a criteria, there's a certain look and feel of the kind of person that you want, and there's a committee that sits down to assess that this man can do it. And then before they give him the job, they say, this is what we want you to achieve. Nigerians are not calling their leaders to question. One of our political leaders said, we are getting away with what we are doing because nobody is calling us to order, nobody's throwing stones at us or anything like that. And that's what Nigerians are not doing. And part of why they're not doing it is the illiteracy that has been weaponized. When people don't know their rights and they cannot ask questions, they tend not to do this. So these are the things we need to address and speak to.
Is the Big Ten considering zoning? Because we talked about our problems. And part of our problems is that a lot of people feel marginalized. So is a Big Tent thinking about how some people will be drawn into the arena by being satisfied with power sharing?
Absolutely. That must be part of the conversation in Nigeria. You have 10 children. You must see how you can get the best of each of the 10 children and make sure that you can provide for each of the 10 children and make sure that each child has a voice to express themselves.
So what is the Big Tent thinking about? Where do you think power should go?
At this point in time, we have not addressed that as an issue. When we come together, we sit together under one house, then let everybody say their opinion and then we can decide.
Do you think time is on your side? Because, I mean, INEC has laid out the timetable. April is almost over. It's supposed to be between April and the early days of June.
Of June.
Yeah, so you pretty much have about 30-something days to go.
Yeah, I think we're having precise timing. There's conversations going on. This is not the beginning of the Big Tent. It's been going on for the past few months, conversations everywhere. And I think this is the time to begin to pull it together. If you are trying to do it before now, it might have been a bit preemptive.
So are you probably, do you have a pot where you're picking from the kind of leaders or the options that you have? Who are those that are in that pot? The options that you have for the president, for example?
I'm not at liberty to mention names right now, okay? But there is a criteria. There are people who fit into that criteria. There are people who are being consulted that fit into the criteria. And there are people who think they fit into the criteria that have offered themselves up. Everybody's coming into that basket. And then the people in the basket will sit around and then say, yeah, you think you are capable? Let us hear what you have to say. You think you are capable? Let us hear what you have to say. But the rules are laid down before. Everybody will be given a chance to speak and express themselves, okay? And after they have spoken, then everybody will be given a chance to also express him or herself. We're hoping that if we have the right kind of people with the right kind of mentality, it will work. If we don't have the right kind of people with the right kind of mentality, then it might not work. But
you see that people are making consultations around the country.
Yeah, right now.
Consulting those whom they refer in quotes, the owners of Nigeria.
Yes.
Is a Big Tent consulting the owners of Nigeria in quote?
Definitely, because they have a say also. They have a say, they have an opinion. And why you call them the owners of Nigeria is simply because they are influential. That's why they are called the owners of Nigeria. Some are intellectually influential. Some are influential in terms of favors they've done people over the years. Some are influential in terms of people they control. And some are influential in terms of the money they have. And some are influential in terms of the opinions from their mouths. So they are influential, and you cannot work on Nigeria without taking them into consideration. But we will also take the Almajiri into consideration. We'll take the beggar on the streets into consideration. We'll take the shoemaker in Lagos into consideration, because he also has an opinion.
So in the end, the thinking is you already seem to have a checklist of the kind of characteristics of the leader that in the eyes of the Big Ten fit into the person that can lead Nigeria going forward from 2023. Share with us a few of these of your checklist.
There was a man in Singapore called Lee Kuan Yew, who grew up a poor man, found himself in Oxford, and then came back and led Lee Kuan Yew from third world to first world in all of 25, 30 years. What do you need in a good leader? Number one, vision. The leader must have an idea where he's going and where he's taking the people clearly. Number two, he must have the capacity to work hard. Number three, he must be exposed and knowledgeable. You are not going to have somebody leading Nigeria who doesn't understand the DYDX of economics, doesn't understand something about power, doesn't understand something about the value of education. He doesn't need to know everything, but he needs to know enough to know how to take a good decision on what people have suggested to him. Number four, he has to be compassionate. He has to care about the big and the small, the little and the large. Number five, he has to be honest and sincere. And he's not likely to be a money bag, because if you've lived in Nigeria and worked in Nigeria and you've been honest and sincere, it's unlikely you'll be a great big money bag, okay? So you have to be honest and sincere. It means, of course, that you must have no corruption charges or accusations of corruption, or you have unexplainable wealth, okay? There's nothing wrong with being very wealthy, but you must be able to explain your wealth. Number six, you must have a second address. It's not do or die. You must be somebody who is ready to contribute and add value to what Nigeria is talking about. Number seven, you must be largely acceptable to the generality of Nigerians. So you must have friends in most parts of Nigeria. They must know you, must know them, and they must look at you and know that there's no skeletons or huge skeletons in your cupboard, and you are largely acceptable. Number eight, you must be totally detribalized. Okay, you're not going there because you want to serve the interest of a certain area, section, religion, or tribe. You are going in there because you want Nigeria to be great, and you want everybody from the pastor to the babalawo to the imam to prosper in Nigeria and find their own fit, okay, in Nigeria. And number 10, you must be able to attract people to Nigeria. We need a lot of foreigners, foreign direct investment, people to bring in money. Because what you need in Nigeria is investments, technology, and hard work, because the fundamentals are there. The coffee is still there, the cocoa is still there, the soya bean is still there, the tin is still there, the coal is still there, the gas is being wasted every day, the oil is still there, the palm oil is still there, the palm kernel is still there. What has happened over the last 40 years is that nobody has paid them any attention, and what we need is to pay them attention and have the right kind of laws. You know, this issue of restructuring is really having the laws that will ensure that every resource of Nigeria can come out of Nigeria. That's all we want.
So restructuring is one thing that the Big Ten thinks is important.
To some extent, okay? Because you need to have the right kind of laws. You see, what is the challenge with Nigerians right now is that the laws that we have has made a lot of things under the control of the federal government. And the federal government does not have the capacity or the ability to invest in all those things. So you must decentralize some of those things, allow people who are interested to participate, and allow foreigners to come in and participate also. You know, if Volkswagen for example, or Mercedes-Benz builds its West African plant in Kaduna or in Sokoto or in Zamfara, what is guaranteed is that they will bring some development to that place. What is guaranteed is that they will employ at least 2,000 or 3,000 people from that area. What is guaranteed is that they will transfer knowledge and technology. What is guaranteed is that they will take some of their raw materials from there. What is guaranteed is that some local industry will spring up around there that will supply them. What is guaranteed is that people will come from everywhere to buy. What is guaranteed is that they will export and earn foreign exchange for us. So if they own 30-40% of the company, so what? Okay, we will own 60% of that company, and our people will be employed, and our people will go to Germany, all over the place, to learn. So that is what we want. We want all the companies, that's what Singapore did, to come into Nigeria and create a safe environment for them to bring their money and invest. And we reach terms with them.
Why should open up the economy?
Open up the economy.
That's the concept.
First of all, Nigeria should not import food of any sort. We eat what we grow what we eat. That's rule number one.
So you shut the border against what we don't produce?
Well, we shut the border against what we don't grow.
You eat what you produce?
You eat what you grow what you eat. So if you want to eat apples, go and come and grow apples in Jos. They grow apples in Jos. So grow as much apples as you want in Jos and we eat them. Okay? If you cannot grow them, then we're not importing apples. If you cannot grow rice, then we're not eating rice. We'll eat yam and cassava and potatoes and things like that. So we eat what we grow what we eat. The farmers have work, the people have something to eat, and we save a significant amount of foreign currency.
It does look like a very lovely ideas that you have. And I've had conversations with several Nigerians over the last few years about their ideas for Nigeria. It does look like everybody has some great ideas, but when it comes to implementation, that is where the big dilemma is. What do you think is usually the problem at the very point of executing the great ideas that Nigerians always have? Because it does look like, let's say there are Nigerian problems at the point of execution.
The first is sincerity. A lot of people have these ideas, but they're not sincere. The second is the structure, especially of the civil service and of vested interests. You have to deal with the vested interest. So you have a good idea, okay? So for example, don't import wheat anymore. There are people making a lot of money from importing wheat. Don't import petrol anymore. Why should Nigeria import petrol? There are lots of people importing petrol. So dealing with those people who are making so much money from this chaos is one of Nigeria's biggest problems, and that is festered corruption. But you need to bring them together and give them an alternative. We're not importing petrol anymore. You people go and start refineries. Don't do petrol. Go and start refineries. Go and do something. We're not taking your food or whatever. We're telling you to think a different way. So
there is a problem of sabotage in execution of ideas. Not like Nigerians are lacking of ideas to get this country out of the doldrums, but there's always at some point sabotage because of selfish interests.
That is what is Nigeria's biggest problem.
So the big 10 things, you have the candidate or the person that tick all the boxes that can make all of this happen.
The first is the political will. At the end of the day, why these things don't work is that the person at the top somehow lacks the political will. It took Obasanjo a lot of energy to make GSM come into Nigeria. It was a big fight because some people were making money from old Nitel and things like that, fought against it. It took him a lot of fight to try and make power work. Different kinds of vested interests were fighting against it. So what you need is, first of all, somebody that has the will and the tenacity and the determination to do this. And it's not a big thing. You can bring everybody on board and say, you know what, we will all make more money. Okay, like the telecom industry is doing now. We will all make more money if you stop holding us by the jugular. Besides, all this money you are making, what are you doing with it?
On a final note, let me ask you, have you decided whether it's the North or the South that the Big Tent is considering?
I would not be able to answer that question at this point in time.
You've made up your mind, but you are not making it public.
I think you want to put me in a box.
No, I'm just asking the question.
What I said is that we're going to come together and discuss and see what is most expedient for Nigeria at this time.
How is the Big Tent going to get its funding?
God will provide.
All right.
He always provides. But there are people, there are also well-meaning Nigerians who are waiting to see what they can support. And you are one of them. And we don't need, if we spend the money right, we don't need a lot of money. A lot of political money doesn't get you where it's supposed to get to. So, for example, a political big with 1 million naira, you can be sure that 50% of it is going into his pocket for him to spend as he wants, and 50% of that 50% is probably going abroad to fuel some economy abroad. So it's only about 50 or 20% that goes down to do the work. So a lot of political spending is also highly wasted because people just see it as their own opportunity to grab. But if you have some sincere spending, okay, and you go down to the roots and people are sincere and use the money, 1 naira can do what 10 naira is doing.
Pastor Ighodalo, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. I believe that this nation will get it right by we getting the right persons. Thank you so much for the thoughts you have shared. We're hoping that Dr. Usman Bugaje will join us at some point on the program. But thank you so much, Pastor Ighodalo, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We'll take a break, everyone, and when we return, our attention will be on the APC. Felix Moka, APC National Publicity Secretary, will be joining me on the program. The APC NEC meeting and some of the issues raised get our attention. The tough choice for the ruling party ahead of the 2023 election. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.